God of War has always been one of the most successful game franchises of all time. I don't think you could really say there's been a bad God of War game. Some bad, plot points and stuff like that, but let's be real here. It gave us Kratos, one of the top 10 greatest gaming characters in history. But today we're going to see if this verse can survive Alduin the World Eater. So be sure to comment down below, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And as always, without further ado, let's begin. God of War is a franchise that has been long debated on how much power it actually has. Some people put at multiversal. Some people don't even think it gets to universal. Yes, I'm being dead serious right now. But keep in mind that is not the case. The God of War franchise easily reaches multiversal, complex multiversal, and to be kind of honest, if you really wanted to get it to outerversal, you would actually have to really upscale the time and space manipulation. So keep that in mind as well. So the God of War franchise has infinitely layered dimensions, okay? And these infinitely layered dimensions, do have some certain properties. There are also entities like the primordials, beings that pretty much exist as concepts in self and birthed the Greek portion of the universe. Keep in mind, this is important, as all the pantheons are separated by dimensional barriers, just so they're not bleeding into other cosmologies. Then we have the fact that, again, all of these beings have their own hacks and abilities. They have, electricity, soul manipulation, time manipulation, speed, the power to manipulate light. Then you have the Norse pantheon, which, in all honesty, is a bit more simpler. Odin has magic, Freya has magic, and has the ability to cross dimensions because she's a Valkyrie. We have the Valkyries being able to cross dimensions. Now, every god would easily be faster than light to immeasurable levels of speed because they're all able to react to Kratos in some sort of way. And keep in mind, Kratos actually reacted to Hermes, who's actually able to not only cross into the underworld, which is an infinitely layered dimension, but he's also able to react Helios's light as well. So, yeah, Hermes is pretty quick. You could definitely say infinite to immeasurable levels of speed as well, because again, he is at the very least able to cross dimensions, right? So with that being said here, with the fact that God of War characters do specialize in things like weapons, armors, gear, and stuff like that, basically stuff that can honestly give them an edge, give them an edge against characters, honestly, I think it's kind of safe to say the God of War cosmology does reach those complex multiversal levels. And if you really, really want to get it to there, you could possibly argue some hyperversal metas for some conceptual scaling. But again, in a more safer end, it is in the more complex multiversal, department as well. But again, it does have some good amount of space-time cosmologies to actually qualify, if not a bit iffy, if you squint your eyes hard enough to get to the outerversal levels. Again, not downplaying it, but again, I think comfortably speaking, it's in the more complex multiversal departments. But with that being said, let's talk about its opponent. Alduin the World Eater. My gosh, it has been a while since I've done a video on him, so please forgive me if my knowledge and pronunciation is a little rusty. I do have to do more with him. So suggest a video for Alduin down below, maybe a versus matchup or whatever. Considering the fact that Alduin is not born like other dragons, he exists in a far more different power level. He was actually able to beat Prince Daedric, who is actually able to control Oblivion. Oblivion is a dimension, right, that actually contains multiple spatial dimensions within it. So essentially a multiverse with multiple infinite-sized universes that actually do contain, infinite worlds, stars, etc., etc. Now keep in mind, he beat him so badly that it wasn't close. As a matter of fact, he one-shot him. Yeah, crazy. Keep in mind, Alduin would also have faster than light to immeasurable levels of speed in order to do this, considering the fact that he's able to bend the spatial dimension known as Oblivion. He's actually able to casually do this. Now, keep in mind, this would Daedric Prince or the Daedric Princes in general are just that powerful, and yet Alduin is just simply above them. Now, Alduin as well is also above the likes of, what's his name? I think it's Aetherius, I believe, who is a very powerful magical entity. Now, keep in mind, Aetherius was never close to Alduin. Matter of fact, even interfered in one of his fights and got promptly stumped out.
Now keep in mind, Aetherises are actually known to be exceptionally highly powerful magical beings that can also manipulate the realm of Oblivion. All these beings put together, Alduin having resistance to their hacks and abilities. Keep that in mind that Alduin is also a kaiju size standard for a dragon in that verse here, and you have exactly that. Alduin being in those complex multiversal to possibly even hyperversal levels of power. But let's go to the results.
Alright, so how does Alduin do in God of War? Can they survive him? Can they beat him? Well, believe it or not, I would definitely say yes and no. Could they survive him? Yes. Could they beat him? No. He has resistances to everything that the God of War franchise can honestly throw at him. He's resistant to soul manipulation, time manipulation, okay, dimensional manipulation. Keep in mind, everything the Daedric Prince can do, most of these gods can do. Or the other way around, I should say, right? And in all honesty, I don't really see any reason why they would be able to survive entirely. Most of the gods, while you can scale them to those complex multiversal domains, don't get me wrong, right? There are levels to this. Okay, I think we all know what I'm saying here. There are levels to what a character can do, what a character can pretty much adapt to, right? And keep in mind the fact that he's also immortal, has magic and reality manipulation of his own, right? He also has things like casuality manipulation, matter manipulation, and things like conceptual manipulation. Yeah, he's busted. He's busted in his entirety. Yeah, there's no way they're doing that. He can also exhort people. He can nullify powers and abilities. Oh yeah, he's got things that they really don't really do much here, okay? This man also has, conceptual manipulation on the life and death portions. He can create portals to go to different locations. Yeah, I held back a little bit on the hacks and abilities department, but keep in mind, Alduin is petty to be a simple dragon. He will hit you with fire breath and just call it a day. But keep in mind, he has all these other powers and abilities that, in all honesty, it's just uncanny and unnatural in its entirety, right? But with that being said here, do I think he dominates the verse as a whole? In all honesty, if we keep it at complex multiversal and stuff like that, yeah, I think he could start his own pantheon. Maybe get a ground base going, get some religions following, basic stuff that pretty much comes with dealing with, fictional gods and stuff like that, right? And, eventually gaining power, maybe even starting his own pantheon. Who knows? He might become a dragon god or something like that. Albeit he would probably view himself as that once he pretty much enters the verse and just start, flexing on the gods and stuff like that. But keep in mind, Alduin would just be petty throughout the entire ordeal. Kratos, all right, could he stop Alduin if he decided to, right? And we know Norse Kratos is stronger than his Greek self, even though that's apparently still controversial for some reason in its entirety. But with that being said, do I think he could stop them or stop Alduin? Nope. Nah, not at all. I'm sorry, I just don't really have that much faith in Kratos to actually be able to stop him. Even if he's backed by the other gods and maybe starts a campaign against Alduin, it could help. But what's to stop Alduin from recruiting his own followers, his own deals, his own, people and stuff like that? Maybe he could have his own son with another dragon or something. We know dragons exist in the God of War franchise anyway, especially in the Norse mythology. So, to be kind of honest with y'all, I don't really see Alduin winning this at all. Oh, sorry, I don't see the God of War franchise winning this at all. But again, I do think they do survive, or at least manage to survive overall. But again, Alduin's kind of being the Godzilla of the franchise overall. But with that being said, be sure to comment down below, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I will see you guys for the next video. Peace.